OMG, I'm being raided. What's up? What's up, party one? How you doing? How's everyone? How's everyone getting on? And by that, I mean one person and possibly two people. One person and possibly two people. I don't know what I'm saying. How you doing? What's up? Hi-oh. Oh, wait, my chat's not on screen. Hello, chat. Gross. What's going on with my chat? Why are you like this? What did you do? Why are you like this? Nope, wrong thing. I thought I fixed you beforehand. Gross. Okay. We're doing, because I want to, and I feel like it. I don't know what person is. Because I want to, and I feel like it, we're doing, woo! We're writing story time. It's story time. I have, as you can see up top, I have the trees. I don't feel like doing trees right now. Yeah, you can see my tabs. See the trees up there, but we're writing a story because I want to. And we're gonna see if we can make this a bigger font. I like to write in a smaller font just because, I don't know, I think it looks better, but you can't see that. You can barely see that on screen. I hate trees. No, I don't hate trees. Why is it so hard to see? Jesus. Sure, we'll make it really big for you guys. I've never written DNF in fanfiction. How dare you? No, this is about. This is a folklore. Folklore? It's a myth thingy. It's fun. It's about. What do you mean never? I've never written DNF in fanfiction. What are you talking about? What? This is about. This is about. Can't take myself seriously. Yeah, it's about. It's about a boy who learns how to bring people back from the dead, and then, like, he has to live with that. He becomes a doctor to try to prevent people from dying instead. Do you want evidence? No. He becomes a doctor to try to prevent people from dying, but obviously they die anyway. And then, like, the 2 times, I think it's only 2 times I'm gonna do, that he actually uses this power to bring people back from the dead. I've already written the beginning. I've written how he learns to bring people back from the dead, and right now I'm writing basically the first scene where he actually uses the power, and it's because his dog dies. Hey! What mean killing pets, huh? Yeah, so let's read through this. It's, actually, how long is this? 1,047 words, that I wrote. We'll read, let's read this part here that's, that I've already written. I wanted to write it in, because there's, like, a certain voice or style that, like, folklore / myths are written in, and you can tell, or, like, you can kind of hear it because they're written, well, they're like oral stories, they're word of mouth, so it's not going to always be the same when you hear it from different places, but there's always, like, certain facts, like, hard facts, and then, like, essentially very simple, plot progression, things like that. So I wanted to try to emulate that, but also do, like, a story aspect. So we're gonna read what I've already written, because I feel like it. Because we're farther in. So, the story starts with a doctor that is very familiar with death. Though, truthfully, that's a lie. Because the story actually starts with a boy, who isn't at this time familiar with death, nor is he at this time really wanting to be a doctor. In fact, he's much more concerned with much more normal things for boys who are not doctors to be concerned with. He's concerned with not getting in trouble with his parents. He's concerned with how often he has to take his dog on a walk. He's concerned with solving all the puzzles and mysteries that his sister leaves out for him. He's concerned with going on adventures. He's concerned with the weather, because of how it does or doesn't allow him to go on adventures. And so, this boy, who is not yet a doctor, isn't too concerned with what happens with life, or death, or doctorly things at all. That is, until he has a dream. Hello, Kai, what's up? Really the zones out for a while. He's getting, he's like maybe 12. I have no clue how old this boy is, but he's like maybe 12. Cause Kai has been here for a while. I can add more VIPs. Do that later. I'm too lazy to do it right now. Shut up. Let me. For 10 months, yeah, and I met Kai a year before I met you. Anyway, I'll add y'all later. It's an unusual dream for him. It's an unusual dream for him. It starts with him waking up in his own body. He never wakes up when he's already asleep. He just comes into being. But this time, he wakes up. The place he wakes up in is dark, not for lack of light, but for lack of anything to light up. He walks forward and feels himself moving through space, though nothing he sees changes. He walks, and eventually, he comes across a figure. It's waiting for him. He knows it is. It's been waiting for the boy in the darkness for a long time. It does not greet him, but he knows that it sees him. He begins to walk farther into It begins to walk farther into the darkness, and the boy follows. This is why he's here. It's showing him something important. He follows the figure into a living room. There's a young woman sitting there. Her skin is sallow, and she looks exhausted. She's pretty, but her shoulders sag in the worn-down way that the boy will come to recognize as grief. She looks up as the figure enters the space, eyes locking on the I have to edit this. Eyes locking on the shadowy figure. She does not see the boy. The young woman is mumbling something, muttering under her breath. Please bring him back. Please, please, please bring him back. Bring him back to me. Over and over and over again. She's begging, pleading with the shadowy figure. She's barely pausing between her words, a steady stream of low murmuring coming from between her lips. She's asking to bring someone back to life. The boy watches as the figure stands there. It listens, but does not move. They watch, listening to the woman for hours, until light starts filling the room they're in. It's the sun. Dawn is breaking. He wakes up. The boy, who is starting to become more concerned with death, dreams of that living room for the next 3 nights. He listens to the young woman's pleading for 2 more nights, wanting to comfort her, but unable to do anything but stand and watch. She sits there from dusk till dawn, talking, beseeching, imploring the figure. The boy now knows his death, to return him to her. He doesn't know who he is. Death clearly does, though. He sees the sleepless nights and the bags under the woman's eyes, and the curve of her back, and her frizzy hair, but she does not stop. For 3 nights, she does not sleep. She does not rest. She does not stop talking. He comes to understand that if she stops, if she pauses, if she breaks her dedication for even a moment, then he is lost forever. It's the 4th night that things change. The woman is no longer muttering. She just sits in her chair, on the verge of falling asleep. Death steps forward, moving farther into the room than the 3 previous nights. Death nods once, and a voice like old bones and gravel and creaky hinges rattles through the boy's very chest. It is done, Death says. The relief that floods the young woman is almost visible. I don't know. I'm gonna change that. I have to edit this whole thing. It's fine. Whatever. The boy, who is not yet a doctor, wakes up much more concerned with death than he was previously. The dreams had been weird, but he didn't feel worried about them. What he felt was mostly concern and sympathy for that poor woman and whomever he was. But it was just a dream. A strange set of dreams that he was not going to worry himself too deeply with. He had better things to worry about. Like his sister, who had started running off into the woods behind their house, leaving behind a trail of clues for him to follow. It's a few months before he thinks about the dreams again. It's after he takes his dog on a walk. They had walked the same path every day for years. Nothing new was supposed to happen. It was a winding path through the forest, one that followed alongside the river. Nothing new was supposed to happen. The dog was walking beside him. The boy didn't have a leash on his dog. Wrong thing. Oh yeah. He never needed one before. My mistakes. He never needed one before. His dog was good and always came when called. Nothing new was supposed to happen, but something did happen. The boy called for his dog, but his dog did not come. He called again, but even get a response. He started to yell, running back in the direction that he'd seen his dog last, running back towards the rushing river. He heard a splash and a bark. His dog had fallen into the river. It was struggling against the tide, but the river was too fast, and the boy knew that his dog would not escape. He knew that he himself wouldn't escape if it was him in the river. So he watched, helpless, and his dog drowned, and he followed as the current brought its body to a bank further downstream. He collected it there, cold and damp from the water. He cried. The boy was still not yet a doctor, and even if he was, wouldn't be a dog doctor, and had no idea what to do. His parents would be devastated. His sister would cry and cry and cry. And then that's where we are at this point. Yeah. I had to wait 3 months for your application to be VIP to finally be accepted. Yeah. Anyway. I torture dogs to be VIP. Yeah, so that's where we are so far. Oh, hi, Zinc. Vegan bacon? Cool. Why am I crying? Oh my god. Yeah, no, I killed a dog. Anyway. This happens. This happens occasionally. I kill pets. The dog, yeah. There's something very fun about, killing not people. in stories, because it's a very different killing pets and killing people in stories is very different, because a lot of the times when you do it, there's like there's often like a sense of there was like a choice to be made by the person. If it's a person dying, there's usually a sense of choice made by the person. They've taken an action, they've done something, and then that's why they end up dying. In Minecraft? No. And then when, like, pets die, it's like they generally don't get a choice. They kind of, it just happens to them. At least whenever it happens for me. Whenever I do it. Not saying I've done it before. I've never written anything else where I've killed pets. Nothing's happened. I'm doing nothing nothing. I'm not doing anything again. What's up? Your dog died today? Great. I'm so Did your dog die in a river? Anyway, I'm gonna finish writing this. The brain matter is like scrambled eggs. You were accidentally killing your goldfish? Cool. I also gotta edit it. There's like parts that are so awkward to it. Awkward in it. And it's yucky. Sister would cry and cry and cry. I hate this. I hate using this keyboard. It's so cool, but I hate using this keyboard. That I'm chilling like it. Oh my god, that's so funny. Container looks the same. Carp. Anyway, I'm pretty sure let me just check. Before I continue, I'm pretty sure the final pick was the pine tree, because someone, I feel like, tricked people into, voting. I don't know, some people double voted, but whatever. We did get the umbrella pine. Ghetto. It's this tree. I love these. These are so cool. The Japanese umbrella pine. Which is a Pseudopithecus ver something. Wait. Verticillata? Or something like that? Whatever. Anyway. Anyway, that's the one we're doing. The other ones were the fringe tree, which was one of mine, or my picks because I like it. Olive tree. This was submitted by Cream, and this tree, the pink Pepe? I don't know. Pepe, which is this flower tree. Anyway, we're gonna finish my dumb, well, my stupid folklore tale. I have a feeling it's gonna be like 2,000-3,000 words, because I'm extra apparently. He didn't know what to do. He wants to return. House. Carrying. Never run again. Doing this on stream makes me feel awkward, because usually what I do, especially if it's like this sort of writing style or more similar to this writing style, is I will literally just say it out loud and then type what I'm saying, which is what you hear. But it makes me feel awkward because I usually do it and no one can hear me. And also at this point, I'm starting to deviate from the actual style, like the spoken word style. Spoken word? No, that's different. The oral tradition style of writing that I'm going for, just because I'm like, hey, let's just make this sad. let's just make it unnecessary and sad. Well, not unnecessary, it's fun. It's fun for me. Do his house care. He didn't want to have to tell. Yeah, he didn't want to have to tell. The boy didn't want to have to tell his family that his dog, that the dog had drowned. Yeah. Boy didn't. You're struggling with this. The boy who lived? No. Oh, that was weird. Okay. What? I usually type this on my phone too. What? Heh? Is this German? Are you Germaning? You know what to do. He didn't want to have to return to his house carrying a dog that would run again. The boy didn't want to have to tell his family that their dog had drowned. Yeah, Germaning. Okay. Stop it. Stop. I say no. Thought back to that series of dreams that you'd had. The dreams with death and that woman. Death. And that woman. And him who was brought back. The German words I say is hello. Words are not wording today? Yeah, I know. I think we're just all out of words today. Yeah. Anyway. And that, and him. Dreams with death and that woman and him who was brought to life because she had wanted domestic. You have to stop. I'm being bullied. Too bad. Can you see how many times something has been redeemed? I cannot. Not in total, unfortunately. I don't know why that's not a thing. Sorry. Oh. I just deleted my thing. 1 second. Up, 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 up. Activity feed. Okay, have fun underneath here. I wanted it so badly. He wanted his dog back. Actually, wait. At the time, he hadn't. Oh my god. This is why I don't type on a computer. Your fellow hiding under blankets is accurate. Nice. Is it fluffy and warm? If not, what's the point? Unless you want a really thin blanket. Maybe it's a blanket to be cooled off with. Don't know what the point of that is. Anyway. I'm yet known if the dreams were true. It's not fluffy? Now he didn't really care. He didn't. Thing is, I don't want to like edit to make it fit the style of writing that I was doing or that I'm like aiming for, because it means taking out a lot of the stuff. You know what? I'm gonna do what I want. It's fine. We can merge them. There's other things. It's fine. It's fine. He wanted to bring his dog back. Right, first edit layer, yeah, merge them. Yeah, I'm not gonna, I might rewrite this in a way that is strictly that style, but I think for the original version, I'm gonna keep it in this kind of weird mix, where it's like, some things are just like, you get one sentence to describe an entire thing, and other things I just kind of stretch out. Wanted to bring his dog back. He wanted it very, very much. Sure. Wanted it very, very much. He hid the body. He needed 4 days? Was it? It's 3 days or 4 days? I know it's like 3 days, and then on the 4th day, you get to bring back, or like whatever you bring back comes back to life. But would that be 4 days? Because it's like day of death and then that night. So that's 1. Next day's 2, 3. I'll say 4. We'll say 4. Cause yeah, we'll say 4. We'll say 4. I hate counting. I hate having to count in stories. I'm the worst at counting. He needed 4 days. Just 4 days. Is that a bear? What is that? I can't tell. Mecha robot. Huh. Need 4 days, just 4 days. 4 days where his family wouldn't find the dog, wouldn't mourn it, wouldn't question, wouldn't burn it, wouldn't bury it. Wouldn't question. I might change that. I want 4 things that they wouldn't do. Wouldn't find the dog, wouldn't mourn it, wouldn't something, wouldn't bury it. Or I could do wouldn't find the dog, wouldn't mourn it, wouldn't bury it, wouldn't take away the chance. We'll see. Bury it, wouldn't take away his chance to fix this. I never write with a font this big. It's so novel to be able to lean back in my chair and see the text. My eyes are not very good. Yes, I know. I don't want to wear them. They suck to wear. They give me a headache. Boy, the body. You see how much I like repetition in this? See how much I like repetition? Especially for scenes that call for angst. Hid the body. The body in the forest. A hollow log far away. Areas that he and his sister usually explored. He went back home. He went back home. Woo! He went back home. I also have to. Another thing I'm trying to practice writing short sentences, because my sentences tend to be long and meandering. I like a comma. I like a comma. And a comma splice. People say comma splices aren't bad, but when you write the way that I write, which is for the feel of the sentences, the mouth feel of the sentences, or I guess the ear feel, whichever one is more correct, you kind of need, sometimes you need the comma splices and like quote unquote like bad grammar to get a certain effect for for how things sound, which is funny. There's like bad grammar, and then there's literary devices, and like literary devices like asyndeton, where you basically don't use joining words, so like words like and or whatever, or polysyndeton could fall under bad grammar, unless you do it intentionally and for like for literary significance. Stupid. Anyway. Went back home. He hid from his parents, who asked how he was. That's not. I didn't finish the sentence. Hid from his sister. Yeah, he hid from his parents, who else who he was, he hid from his sister. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't know the thing he's hiding from his sister for. His sister and went directly to, I'll just go. To his room. He skipped dinner. He didn't mention the dog. Like, I know how the story's supposed to go. I always do this. Like, I have the outline of the story, but I don't have, like, the specifics, and then I sit there and I'm like, what? He hid from his sister and went directly to his room. He only had... He didn't have... Before sunset. And he needed to be prepared. I got an ad? Yeah, yeah. Congrats. You're not subscribed on this account. On this, the only account that you've ever had, clearly. Anyway. You need to be prepared, drink Coke, fellas. No. Fun thing about writing your own stories is you can just skip things you don't want to write. I don't want to write about him preparing, so I'm gonna skip it. Subscribe should no, you don't have to. I don't care. It doesn't. You don't have to. Skipping is fun. Yeah, I know. I can just skip scenes I don't want to write, or like, or it's like boring. Nope. Anyway, you didn't have long before sunset, and he needed to be prepared. He watched the last rays of sunlight slip under the horizon. Why does that feel weird and wrong? I know it's correct for what I mean, but oh well. Oh, it's the rays of sunlight, not the... He watched the last... He watched as the sun slipped under the horizon. Still sounds weird to me. Sun slipped under the horizon and began to speak. His parents had asked earlier. Or no. Nah, I don't want to write that. We're skipping it. Just assume that his family isn't bothering him. Yeah, we'll just assume that he prepared it so that he could do this without being bothered by his family. It's fine. I don't have to explain everything. You get it. It's like one of my favorite phrases to say. You get it. You understand. I don't have to explain things. And began to speak. Because I feel like we're putting another dash there. Death didn't come immediately. That's... Death didn't come immediately. Boy sat there. Pleading for his dog. Come back to life. 4 hours before anything happened. It was part of the test after all. Test after all. The waiting. The wondering if nope. Dreams were true. The holding back of grief and the holding back grief and the like something about concentration. The struggle and the holding on to concentration. We can repeat it. That's fine. Mission. On to. Part of the test after all, the waiting, the wondering, the dreams were true, the holding back of grief, and the holding on to concentration. He had to want it, to really want it. Desperately enough. Sometimes I just write lines. I'm like, I'm gonna take you out later. Oh well. It's fine. It's fine. Edit after. Edit after. Right now, edit after. When death did finally arrive, surprise was almost enough to break his focus. Figure looked the same as it did in his dreams. Standing there, a few feet in front of him. Are the keys smaller? Is that why? Like the place where I'm putting my finger. Slightly. Trying to figure out why this keyboard's not much to use. But it was deterrence. More so than a deterrent. So broken channel points? Heh. Watch me, what is it? Watch me, increase the price of lore of, it's not even called lore, it is fun fact. You could use it to ask about anything. Hello. How's the rating? The rating's good. The dog's still dead. Fun fact. Haha. About what? I can give you fun facts about writing. I like to write. I can give you fun facts about what I'm writing. That's fun. I like the story of how I came up with this idea. Stop killing dogs. The dog died. It's fine. The dog's already dead. We're bringing the dog back to life. Can I tell you about the story about how why I'm here? Why I'm writing this one? Can I say why I'm writing this one? Because I think it's funny if I talk about this. No, fine. You guys are no fun. So it wasn't really about you. It was related to you, but not exactly. So it's not really a disease. Maybe it's closer to a syndrome, but it's sort of a disease. I guess it's a disease. We'll call it a disease because that's more fun to say. In the world of, yes, the council room because it's associated, but more so the hallway, which is, if you forget, but like the space that the council room inhabits. It's like the outside space. That's like all the tendrils and this in-between spaces between universes. That's the hallway. This is a disease associated with the hallway. So if you spend enough time in the hallway, or you let it essentially into your being, or whatever, it creeps into your world and infects you, quote unquote, what happens is it starts to strip away your sense of self and your individuality. You start to become less unique, essentially, because everything in all the universes itself are unique and are individuals and have their own identity. Like everything, not just people, but like objects too. They have the universe they belong in, and the things that differentiate this version from any other versions, even like their sister dimensions, which are like almost exactly the same except for like small little details. There's things that differentiate them from each other, but when they get affected by the hallway and like its essence, all of that starts to get stripped away and it becomes general. Because again, the hallway is this area of literally, or like, infinity. It's all the possible potential, but it's sort of like from dust to dust kind of thing. It's like, yeah, this is what everything is made of, but when everything breaks down and is no longer existing, it goes back to being this mass of literally anything could happen and everything could happen. And the way that it connects to you is that this is the thing that affected Kai 1.0. That this is the disease that Kai 1.0 was infected with or affected by. Of course, because it was you role-playing it, you had like you had a funny little reaction to it, which is not exactly how it would go, but that was like my idea for what happened, and why Kai's needed to be exterminated, quote unquote exterminated, not exterminated, but switched out, because it's a thing that spreads. If you've read my OC-tober, there's a ficlet? No. A fictionlet. there's a little thingy I did one of the days, which was, I think it was the ambush day. I don't remember what day it was, but it's about people in the bunker, in the pocket bunker, which is of course what the council room is made of, based off of. And they're running through the library, and they come across a bunch of people, quote unquote people. And they're people who don't have any defining characteristics. It's just a group of people. That's all they can be described as. They maybe have hair, they have clothes on, they look old or young or whatever, and that is I'm so sorry. That is the disease that all of those people, quote unquote disease that all those people have. That is like the final stage. You just become, and you basically go from being a person, capital P, like italicized, this is a person, to a person, like in the objective sense. You are, as baseline, you're like the bare minimum of what a person can be and still be considered a person. And the thing about, like, getting to that stage is, well, you no longer exist, you as a person no longer exist, like, of course, you're still based off of what a person wants, or not you, but those things are based off of what people used, or what the people used to be, and so they have, like, this need to seek out, other individuals, or, like, individuality, uniqueness. They're seeking out really, like, anything that actually has an identity in the first place, because that they've lost that. And then if they do reach you and they do latch onto you, they start to, it's kind of like a zombie apocalypse where everyone's infected, but if you get bitten, you just turn a lot faster. It's kind of like that. So if they do attack you, if they do get their hands on you, they start to draw out that individuality, draw out that uniqueness from you, and make you a nobody person. I don't have a name for it anymore, but I'm pretty sure the originals were called Stolen, but that's a stupid name and I hate it. But yeah. I do like the idea of, it is kind of funny because it's like stolen identities. Because it's like there are stages. There's like you being an actual person, when you start to get infected by it, but you're still like yourself. You become lost, quote unquote, where it's like parts of you are starting to be siphoned off into the nether, and then once you actually lose all your personality and all defining characteristics, you become a stolen, and yeah, which is what's happening to one of the characters in the other thing I'm writing, but we're not gonna talk about that. What happens if a being steals your identity? Oh, when it gets your identity, it doesn't get it. It just gets siphoned off into the hallway. Basically, any creature that is from the hallway or becomes part of the hallway is no longer its own thing, but more so just like a tentacle, like an off branching of the hallway itself, so they're always connected back and they can no longer be their own unique individual unless you like absolutely sever the connection, which I have no clue how you'd be able to do. I don't think you'd even be able to do that at all. But yeah, it just gets siphoned off into the hallway, and then you become one of the creatures, one of the people, the lowercase p people, and just wander off into nothing. Which is why Kai 1.0 had to be nixed. Had to be sent off for lab testing. Maybe not lab testing. Sent off somewhere. Anyway, that's fun lore. Like, yeah. Are you satisfied with your lore? Your itto bitto lore? Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, Kai 1.0 is not dead, but worse than dead at this point, I'm pretty sure. I'd consider it worse than death. To have your existence completely erased, and or not even erased, but pulled apart pulled apart at the seams, undone. It's complete. It's not even a destruction, it is just a complete undoing of said existence. But you're not dead, so I don't know. It's fun. Brutal way to go. I don't know if it hurts. I would say that it probably doesn't hurt, but it is like psychologically terrifying to know that this is happening to you. Like, cause in the other thing I'm writing with Team Eagle Eyes, my scout party, Lynn, who's the character that's getting affected by it, she is being affected by the disease, but it is happening to her a little bit weirdly, because of course it is, because I'm having fun with it, and she falls into a quote-unquote puddle. There's a lot of quote-unquotes in this, but she falls into a quote-unquote puddle where she, which is how she gets the disease, and instead of just kind of sapping away her individuality, what it starts to do is it starts to merge her with all of the other versions of her, or at least a bunch of other versions of her in, like, the nearby vicinity, and then the idea is that it's going to do that until she stops being her and just starts being the idea of what Lynn is. So she stops being an individual from this universe who's going through the things that she's going through and just becomes all of them until, and then that expands just being this type of, like, a person in a type of situation that she's in, and then to being just a person, and then to being people, and then to being one of the weird whatever creatures that do not have a name at this point. But yeah, it's a fun idea. There are no rules. Anyway, this is my story. I do what I want. I have to finish this. I have to finish my folktale. Death did finally arrive. The surprise was almost enough to break his focus. The figure looked as it did in his dreams. Is it getting distracted? Also, this is probably a good idea, or a good, if you have questions about writing stuff, this is probably a good time to ask them, because I'm in writing brain mode, so I have more opinions. Thematic opinions too. Themes. The thorough lines. Standing there 2 feet in front of him, but it was reassurance mode, so then it turned. He didn't stop until he didn't stop his pleading until sunlight painting his face. And death was nowhere to be found. He didn't sleep during the day. Is he gonna sleep during the day? Yeah, he's not gonna sleep during the day. Didn't sleep during the day. I also wanted to write this in like a vague timeline, or a time setting, because I think it's more fun that way. Although there's always going to be that kind of hint, that like hints of it being written now instead of before or later. But, you know. Selman? Sure. I feel like there's other ones you could do than that. That's a bit on the nose. You use cell in the, did I? Is that what a laugh sounds like? You sell in the setup. It's kind of cheating. The boy didn't sleep during the day. He wanted to. My keyboard's flashing at me. Do I need to charge it? I'll do that later. Stop flashing! How do I turn you off? How do I turn this off? Nope. 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 This one? I have no clue how to turn this off. That's fine. I want to turn the lights off, but I can't. He wanted to, but he was too afraid of being found out. But he wanted to, but he was too afraid of being found out. There was also a part of him that was afraid that if he fell asleep, he would miss sunset. Something like that. There's always him that was afraid. Ah, damn you. If he fell asleep, he would miss. Okay. Alright. Give me a minute. Bop, bop, bop. I've stretched. Alright. How many pages is this? Already 6 pages. Well, this is also a giant font, so it's fine. Right, that if he fell asleep, he would miss sunset. His mother asked him if he was all right. Right. He told her he was fine. I can't type and say things at the same time. It makes me confused. He told her he was fine. His unless I'm saying it like exactly the same time, I can't like stagger it. His father. Said that he looked tired. He said that he was, but that it was okay. His sister asked him where the dog was, and he told her it was a secret. Secret. His sister loved puzzles. Loved mysteries. Loved secrets. The boy told her that he had hidden the dog. That she would have to find it. He gave her clues. Come on. Her clues. Ones that brought her to the opposite side of the forest where he'd, come on, really, hidden dog. He gave her clues ones that brought her to the opposite side of the forest from where he'd really hidden the dog, and sent her on her way. Nope, that's wrong. Why did that happen? You miss some. That's it. Let her on her way. He hoped his clues were clever enough. He hoped his clues were confusing enough. His sister. No, I don't think I'm gonna mention that. I like writing stories like this. I wish I would write more stories like this, where it's just like there is no, like the plot is very short, or like, yeah, the story is actually itself very short and it doesn't go off into whatever, and these characters don't have names and they don't have to care about them. It'd be fun to write the stories about characters that do have names whose stories end, but I don't do that, apparently. Clues on the... He felt bad about having to trick his sister. Sister. Please? God, that you. It's not helpful. He felt bad about having to trick his sister. The thought of her tears at what he'd done stealed with like that? I'll check after. Nope. The next 2 days. Okay, it does work. I don't know why I remember testing out my keyboard and me holding the backspace bar didn't continue to like erase, but I had to like tap it. I don't know why I thought that, but it's not true, so I'm okay. The thought of her tears at what he'd done steeled his resolve. He continued to use the word plead too many times, but it's a good word. I need to change this to beg. Begging for his dog. Continued to plead for the life of his dog for the next 2 days. Death stood vigilant. Stood vigilant. Assessing his dedication. Until the small hours of the morning. His parents continued to worry about him. His sister continued to search for the dog. The fourth night, the exhaustion had settled deep into his bones, but his nerves kept him awake. He was almost jittery with anticipation over whether his long nights would be worth it. I recognize now that while I'm on stream saying what I'm going to be typing out, that everything that I'm saying is said with absolutely the wrong inflections to how I'd read it or how it's supposed to be read. I don't notice that when I'm doing it, when I'm just typing by myself, but every time I'm on, I'm gonna say camera, but on mic, I guess, on recording, I notice it more. I'm like, wow, yeah, I sound weird. Something sounds very wrong. Over whether it's long, it's worth it. At last, the sun dipped down behind the hills, and death appeared. It stepped forward and nodded and said, "It is done." Nope. And the boy wept with relief. I was gonna have a thing. I was gonna do a thing because I had thought through the story before of what I was going to write. I've been thinking about this story for a few days, and I was going to have it that one of the reasons that the boy never wants to do this again is because whenever you do this, you get the memories of whatever it is that dies, and I was gonna go through like, oh yeah, no, his dog was terrified and like full of fear and betrayal because the dog drowned and felt like its master let it drown or whatever, but realizing that already he's staying up for 3 days straight, having to constantly concentrate on the fact that first of all, something or someone you love is dead, and then having to beg a shadowy figure that is just standing there and staring at you, waiting for you to mess up or trip or doubt or like basically waiting for you to not have the conviction to want whatever it is brought back to life. That's already harrowing enough. That's a trial in itself already. You don't need the memories of whatever it is and how they died. that's a bit much. It's a bit much even for me. Maybe if I was writing like not the story of this, but like about a character who like a character in a story where this resurrection ritual is like canon, is true in the world, but it's like more about the character in a named character story. That's how I'm gonna phrase it. In a named character story, I'd probably add that fact that's like when you do the ritual, you do end up thinking about it, or like you do end up with memories of the death, though it could just be that you end up thinking about it so much that you start imagining what it would have been like for that person or that thing to die that way, instead of actually memories. I don't know. I'd probably do something with that. Like I'm saying this like I'm ever going to actually write that stuff. I'm not gonna write another version. It's fine. It's okay. Whatever. It's stepped forward and nodded and said, "It's done." And the boy wept with relief. That day, you know what? No, I'm not gonna explain it. It's fine. You can imagine what happens after this. Resurrection Resurrection was a harrowing. Experience. One that the boy wished to never have to deal with again. Grief of it. And the grief was almost worse. Never have to deal with again. He didn't want anyone to have to deal with it. He didn't want anyone to have to deal with it. Which is why this boy I don't like this sentence. It was because of the power of resurrection that the boy decided that the boy became concerned. Keep forgetting how to spell concerned. Apparently. My fingers do. My brain knows how. The boy became concerned because of the powers of resurrection. What dictates one versus plural powers? Singular versus plural powers. Ah. That this boy started. Thank you. Started to become concerned with doctorly things. Gonna have a real dramatic center to this. Well, no, I know there's also. Thank you. There's another part that's also gonna be quite dramatic. It's like it starts real mild and then it just gets real dramatic. Oh no, I forgot it was gonna be like. I didn't forget. I know how this story is gonna go. Just didn't realize in writing that it'd be more than I thought it'd be. Write a different version of the story. I'm gonna keep this one, but write a different one where it's all kind of light. Well, no, this is a story about death. It's not gonna be light. What am I doing? Some doctorly things. He wanted to prevent. He came to realize that not everyone dreamed about we're gonna look up synonyms for begging and pleading, because god damn it, this is I don't want to use just those two words. We have entreat, beseech, implore, appeal, petition, supplicate. I did not want meaning. I wanted synonym. I'd look it up on my computer, but I don't know what will show up if I start typing on my computer, so I'm not gonna do it. Edger? What? Solicit. Solicit death for, sue, urge, advocate, conjure, invoke, nag. To nag death. About ways to about he came to realize that not everyone dreamed about death, and not everyone about death, about how to bring people, how to bring souls back to the land of living. Death. This is actually based off of another folklore myth thing that I'd read like a long time ago, because I had a whole thing for a long time where I was just reading myths and things like that, and I have like this big book, Myths and Legends, that I adored, and I read like 3 times all the way through, and it was like a lot, like a big the actual book was kind of small, but it was like a thick book. And it wasn't like one story, it was several stories. And this is based off of one of the stories I read, but it's the actual execution of it is quite different. And I didn't realize this until right now, because in the story, the doctor makes a deal with death, or somehow wins a favor from death and makes a deal that he can basically heal anyone whose soul had already been promised to death, and how the doctor would know is that he'd see death like sitting at their head, I think it was, in the room, and so he'd go around curing people, using that power to cure people whenever he wouldn't see death. And this is a different story altogether. It's a different type of thing. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't know what this story is about. There's usually, in like, myths and folktales, there's, like, a reason for stories to exist. It's like, yeah, this is how we explain how this happened, or, like, a warning or something. Or, like, to teach a message about something. I don't know, I'm just writing stories here. There's also, like, some, like, fairy tales, legends and stuff that are just weird as hell, that don't have, like, a meaning, a message behind them. They're just weird. I think those ones are fun. About bring souls back to the land of the living. He also knew that even if the boy, now doctor, also knew that even if everyone did boy, no, doctor also knew that even if everyone did know how not everyone would be able to that desire long enough for it to take. So he became a doctor. So yeah, so he became a doctor and spent his life to prevent deaths in the first place, something like that. But I don't like that sentence. That doctor and endeavored and there's some words that I can never remember if I've used them or not, because it's just such a common word that I'm like, wait, can I start a sentence with that? Have I already done it close enough that it's going to annoy me when I read this back through later? The answer is maybe. I also knew that even if everyone did know how, not everyone would be able to focus on that desire long enough for it to take. But actually no, we'll start like that if he could. Trying to find a comfortable position to hold the keyboard. Prevent death. The first place. They never need. There's also like a whole thing about how it takes 3 days to resurrect a person, and that's kind of an awkward amount of time to have a dead body. Yeah, I guess sometimes it's fine, but especially if it's like someone's in a hospital or getting like urgent care, if someone's in or with a doctor trying to prevent their death in surgery, people are gonna know that the person's dead pretty quickly. Yeah, people are gonna find out about that death real quick, and it's like, oh yeah, hey, could you maybe not do anything to this dead body of your loved one for like 3 days? I can't explain to you why, because you'll think I'm crazy, because not everyone can resurrect people from the dead, and also, you already know they're dead. So even if I do resurrect them, that's gonna be an awkward conversation to have with you. I was gonna have a thing where it's like, yeah, he another reason he became a doctor is because it's kind of hard to explain to people that, no, I swear, I'm not doing dark magic. Or maybe I am, but I swear, it's the person you lost. Everything's okay. Just like having to explain that, bring people back to life is fine. It's fine. I promise. It's fine. It's okay. Nothing weird is going on. I might write that in, actually. Trying to think of how I'd phrase that. Boy, no doctor also knew that even if everyone did know how, not everyone or would be willing. To try in the first place. Is it a little bit of an affront to God, an abomination? Yeah, maybe. Maybe just a little bit. Is it dark magic? Possibly. Some moral ambiguity here. That's fine. They would never need to know. They would never need to. Or would be willing to try in the first place, but if he could prevent the deaths in the first place, they would never need to know. That's the problem. I was like, I feel a problem. It's the fact that I had the first place tier twice. The boy no doctor also knew that even if everyone did know how, not everyone would be willing to, would be able to focus on that desire long enough for it to take, or be willing to try in the first place. But if he could prevent the deaths, he could be there to prevent the deaths. I don't like it. Oh well. Moving on. The doctor now concerned. I know how the next part of this is supposed to go. I just don't know how to start it. The doctor was sparing with his use. Sparing with how often he did an audience with death. We're getting into that point of me writing where I haven't thought it through enough, and so my wording is starting to get real weird. And my vocabulary is starting to get real extra. Instead of being, you know, or instead of sounding how it does when people actually talk. Which is fun and not helpful at all. The doctor was bearing with how often he requested an audience with death. Again, I was supposed to like weird, like more casual and sort of meta. Damn it. It was difficult. I might take away that line of him, of like people not being willing to resurrect people in the first place. We'll see. The doctor was sparing with how often he requested an audience with death. He was surrounded by it to regularly to need to regularly to need to seek it out on his own terms. Entirely to need to seek it out on his own terms. There's only ever a handful. There was only ever a handful of situations where he'd take the 3 days through a death to ask. Death to where he'd take the 3 days after death to ask for change. Ask for not a retrieval, not retribution, reversal. We'll go with change. We'll do change for now. To ask for change. It was difficult to do. I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't want it. Nope. And I want the first place to be here. But if you could be there to prevent the deaths in the first place. I'm full of situations where he'd take the 3 days after death to ask for change. It was difficult to do in his in a way where people would not it was a difficult thing hiding a death, especially when it was from a family who had taken a sick, loved one to him. But he did his best. He did his best. And if opportunity a conviction. I want a different word for conviction too. Give me something. Conviction, faith, feeling, principle, sentiment, view, creed, doctrine. It's not like desire. And oh well. We'll just not use it. Presented itself. Kind of backtracking what I said here, but that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Present itself as necessary? Does that make sense? It's fine. You know what? It's fine. It doesn't have to make sense. Present itself as necessary. He did what he needed to do. Pleading, pleading, pleading. Always pleading. Patience. He found was easier. Pleading for one's own. For pleading his own. The dedication. Dedication. Commitment. Mint was the same. But the grief was much lighter to bear. Yeah, that's the wrong bear. Bear. Okay. I am good with that. How much should I write in this nearly 2 hours? Here, we'll do with my mouse is really breaking down. It's not helpful. Word count? 800. 800 words. Okay. Not bad. But there's another piece, or I have the rest of it planned. I already know what I'm gonna write. But it's been nearly 2 hours, and I don't want to write it on stream because this is like the part I'm the most fuzzy about. So I'm gonna call it a night. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed me writing things. Yeah, I don't know. I know art streams are enjoyable because you get to watch someone make art, or like draw, and it's soothing. But writing streams, I feel like are kind of weird. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. If you're here, thank you for coming. If you've stayed with me, thank you for staying. And yeah, good night. Good night, good night. Bye, bye, bye.